right. Hello. I'm going to try this out and see how it works. I am um I'm going to be doing some visual research, and I'm kind of cheating here because I've already done research for projects on end. I'll get inspired and like do research and then chicken out and not follow through. So, this is a documentation of my actual like visual research, and hopefully I don't look like a fool with my pants on the ground. So I'm going to share my screen. Now be warned, my computer is like 8 years old, so we're gonna be running a little slow. Okay, so this here is like my Pinterest board. So I use Pinterest for my inspiration. It's just easier to collect images that are cohesive with like the initial inspiration. Um, so, for example, I'm not going to base anything off of this one, but Flower Power, this was my visual research that I did that was based off of, shoot, I don't even know now. It was, I think it was all about visual fabric manipulation. And so when I think of fabric manipulation, I thought of like flowers. You can do a lot of creative things with fabric. And one of the most like intricate ones I've seen are like, just look at this beauty, like this one here. Just being able to do lots of great things and build that into the actual design, or your pattern. So yeah, it was a combination I'm seeing now of like initially um, fabric manipulation and like it's like creative pattern cutting. Cutting designs, it's almost like you're cutting the design into the pattern. And if you're a designer, you know what I'm talking about. This is kind of like a good example. So these here are different um, pattern, like fabric manipulations, like with pleats and folds. Um, and when you break that, when you incorporate that into the actual pattern, when you manipulate lines, you slash and cut, fold things a certain way, you extend things out, like this one here. It gives you a design. So if you don't know too much about fashion, I hope I explained that really well. Um, but yeah, so I was really inspired by that. So that's an example of just one of my boards. But I think for the collection that I want to do, um, it was actually um, more Asian inspired, specifically like Japanese, like kind of street fashion, but with the with a particular perspective. So this one here, I'm going to be using this as my application for FIT in the fall. So this one I entitled Aaron. I just like the name. I've always loved that name. I had a pair of Madewell boots called Aaron, and they were my favorite boots. So therefore, I love that name. So that's what that's named after. But so this one here, the story is there's a young woman named Erin, and she is traveling to Japan, and she's doing a what was it? I think she's a fashion journalist, and so she's going there to attend fashion shows and interview, fashion inspirations that she has. I can't remember the full story, forgive me. But she was traveling to Japan for some time, but she set aside time for herself to really explore the city from the eye of a fashion journalist, but also a tourist. So she's obviously American, and she is visiting the country for I think the first time, maybe the second time around. But so my mood. When we start with like a collection, you always want to have like a mood board or just a mood. And so this mood is like how I understand it is how okay. So yeah, so the mood is the overall um like feel, how you want your collection to feel, um, the emotion that you want to inspire, the story that you want to tell. My goodness gracious. I don't know how to mute it on my computer, so sorry. But yeah, what story you want to tell. And so my mood here you can see, I started with just collecting images. So I'm going to go all the way to the very bottom because this is where it started. Um, so it started with um, life is sin. It started with just these like nighttime fluorescent rich images of alleyways, and I think, well, it's honestly it's my goal. I am Aaron in this particular story because it's my dream to go to Japan. So I picture, what would I do? I would really like, I would visit the touristy places, but I would also want to get um local local vibe of like the alleyways, the nooks and crannies, like, or I don't know if I pronounced that right, but the little tiny places, like you're walking down a main street and then you bust a right and then there's this whole alleyway of like restaurants and shops, things like that. So that's kind of like um that's the mood that I wanted to portray. So, it's nighttime. You're going to be walking. I'm also thinking about what she's going to be wearing, to kind of really not put a hindrance on her exploration. If she wanted to explore until 2 o'clock in the morning, she needs to be dressed comfortably. So I'm thinking about that as well. So I'm not putting necessarily clothes on the figure yet, but I am thinking about what is going to um, be comfortable during her exploration. So we've got like yeah, your alleyways, and you've got your museums. The places that you must visit as a tourist in Japan. Um, all of these like really cool like interactive like museums, like interactive art, where you're pretty much in the art, which is really cool. Experiencing capsule hotels, that's a story. Um, Being able to really be immersed in the culture. So you're around the people, you're in the language, you hear the language, you smell the foods, you feel like the humidity of the air, you feel the breeze. It's like it's all, kind of inspiring you. In this particular situation, it's inspiring Erin with whatever she's going to be writing about, specifically from the eye of fashion. But I really think that if you're going to draw inspiration from another country and you're going to talk about fashion, like you have to incorporate its culture because that's part of it. So yeah, just being immersed. Also visiting the historical, not monuments, um, locations, um, I guess monuments, I don't know, historical places, um, things that make the culture that much more rich. Of course, food. My inspiration to go to Japan started with Naruto, and it started with him eating a bowl of it was a itchy I forgot the shop's name, but his favorite ramen shop in the original Naruto. It looks so good. I was like, whoa, I really want some ramen. So that inspired that inspired my inspiration to go to Japan. So yeah, just diving deeper um, into really being inspired by the culture. Commuting as well. Commuting is like crazy there. So you're jam packed with all these people. Well, not so much now, but you're looking for comfort. Um, you're going to be doing a lot of explorations, things like that. So this is kind of the overall feel or the mood. A lot of outdoors activity, um, being around a lot of people, sightseeing, experiencing the culture through food, through museums, through art, through um, everything that the city has to offer. It's historical aspects as well. So that is my mood. Now, the one thing I do like about Pinterest, why I use it, is like, say, I run dry or I'm, running out of like ideas. Like I can go to more ideas, and like there's more images that are similar or relate to the images I've already collected. So that might take it to another place. I may be inspired by, the colors here, or the colors here, just and get like color inspiration as well. So I always like to use that as well, to help me to really round out my mood. Um, and so this is an example here. Now, this is not set in stone. I'm not really, if I were designing for me, this would not be my color palette. So, but I'm not designing for me, so I have to keep that in mind. But I do love the, um, what is it called? The sakuras. Um, the It's a particular season. Can't remember what they're called, but these like flowers. They're really popular during certain times of the year. And I pictured her, Erin, going to Japan during this time. So it's probably spring. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. She can layer if she wants to, or she can be completely comfortable in whatever she's wearing, and not be like sweating. I hate sweating. So I'm thinking about that too. So yeah, so I'm thinking natural. She's going to be, in the natural like beauty of Japan, like countryside, things like that, exploring. So natural beauty, natural colors, things that aren't manufactured, things that you would find in nature. Um, so this isn't really rounded out just yet. So I'm gonna do a little bit more collecting and a little bit more thinking as well. I do want to kind of revisit um, like the alleyway. So you have like your concrete, you have um, wood posts, and um, you have your city skylight, you have your neon fluorescent lights, things like this, like artificial colors, but still be surrounded by all this natural beauty, things like colors that are found in nature. And what intrigues me, something that I really want to play with, is mixing and matching. So not having a piece or an item or a garment that makes sense visually. It's like I wanted to kind of I wanted to get you to think. Like, I like mixing and matching. So, for example, um, I like to wear, well, this is like before it got popular, but I would wear like my sneakers with a dress, or I would wear like a blazer over like a t-shirt and like a pair of skinny jeans. So that's something I like to experiment with. I like mixing masculine elements with feminine elements. Kind of like dressing down, because I'm not really like a girly girl, like as far as like the things that I wear, or the clothes that I wear. So if I do wear a dress, I do tend to kind of like tone it down a little bit with something a little bit more masculine. It kind of balances it out for me because I like sporty. I like kind of like the streetwear vibe, kind of urban. That's like what I tend to gravitate towards. So I kind of want to play with that. Um, I don't know exactly how just yet. I don't want to be super obvious. I want it to be subtle. So that's kind of like the vibe um, of like the city portion of this, like exploring wet roads, boots, something a little bit rougher, a little edgier, a little grittier that balances out um, this nature, like really soft and um, very pink and just like the richness. Like, look how soft that is. It's gorgeous. Um, but I want to balance that out with a little bit of grit, um, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of grime, because I think that's what a city has to offer. Just and when you go to any city, I'm not from a big city, but when you go to any city, like I've been to Chicago, and you have like the beauty of all that surrounds, and it's like, oh, all the nature and the trees, all those things, and then you've got like alleyways that smell terrible, but that's part of it that makes it um, that much more um, that much rich, I guess. So yeah, that's where I'm at. um, that's pretty much the intro, I guess. I don't know, I might do um, more than one episode of this, of just, well, I'm pretty sure I'll need to, because I can't just collect inspiration on the fly and it be like done, like it takes a lot of time. So I'm gonna end it here, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. If you have any tips um, on how you collect your inspiration for your mood, um, leave me a comment or respond. I don't know. But this is just really just a journal, a visual journal. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit more refined, I believe. In the next one, fine tuning what I kind of want to hone in on, what I want to narrow into, and really start to, like, I have these ideas, really start to take shape, like form them into um, closer to getting to actual like garments. So before I start sketching, before I start um, sewing, I just want to be inspired by my subject, so that I don't um, recreate old ideas. Because I have a lot of ideas and I don't want to put those down and just edit them. I really want this to be like organic, and how the garments are shaped. I want them to be organically shaped. So I think that's it. I will sign off here. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for viewing and for supporting. Um, and to, if you want to get together, um, please feel free to comment me or message me. If you're in Florida, obviously. But hey, with that Corona, we got Zoom. Now keep in mind, I got that free version. So 30 minutes, or Facebook, things like that. I don't know. We can do something. But I do want to be able to um, get advice as well from other designers, other people who are self-taught designers, pick their brains as well. So I just, if you're interested, drop me a line. But thank you so much for viewing, and I hope you have an awesome and encouraging day.